The views and content expressed on the following program are provided solely for informational and entertainment purposes. They do not constitute legal advice. A podcast is not a substitute for retaining a competent, licensed attorney to advise you on your specific legal situation. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the show. It is time for Break the Business, where we empower indie creators and have some fun along the way. I'm Ryan Kairalla, and it is a pleasure to have you here this week. Thank you for joining us wherever you're joining us, whether it's Twitch, YouTube Live, Facebook Live, on podcast platforms, or now, as of our second week, on SiriusXM Channel 45. Wherever we are, we're happy to have you, and I'm happy to have our guest co-hosts this week, joined by Elisa and JC. Hi, guys.
Hi. Good to be here.
Hello.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you here. JC, I feel bad. I feel like we dragged Elisa, I want to say reluctantly, into being a co-host this week. I feel like we've bamboozled her a little bit, because I texted her last night. What did I text Elisa? Something along the lines of, hey, do you want to pop in for just a couple minutes and talk about E3? And now we pretty much have you for the whole show.
Yeah. So you'll be hearing, I was going to say you'll be hearing from my lawyer, but
that is the trick.
Spider-Man meme.
I can't sue myself, but I'm happy to have you guys
from inside the house.
I'm thrilled to have you guys both here, and just this show is just filled with people that I just know I'm going to love hanging out with. In addition to you guys being here, our guest this week, really excited to have indie pop ukulele artist Ray Robinson. I got to tell you guys, all right, you know me well enough to know that indie alt pop ukulele music is my jam. It is my kryptonite. It is my world. I mean, it is the... If it was the only music I would ever have to listen to for as long as I live, I'd be cool with that. In fact, I can say this, okay? You could tell me that we have reanimated Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart's corpse, and he is playing a concerto in my backyard, and I'm still going to be like, yeah, but there's an indie pop ukulele artist 20 miles away in a dingy bar. I got to check this out. And that's so like this is appealing to me on all fronts. Once I found out we had a ukulele player this week, like I just immediately
there it is.
Started ukulele fanboying over here.
That was 7 minutes in. 7 minutes into the broadcast, folks, and there is the ukulele.
I wouldn't say I'm obsessed with ukulele or anything. That I just own a bunch of these. For the radio audience, they're gonna, just to paint the picture here. Yeah, I love ukuleles and I'm carrying all of them at once, and I'm going to put them down because they're, when you put them all together, they're kind of heavy.
I'm over here horrified, but I do also own a banjolele.
Yeah.
So where do I?
I know you're a uke man, JC. I know you're excited for this show. Bring it out. Bring it out. Yes.
I too may have been prepared.
And the cheese stands alone. I do not have a ukulele.
No.
I just have I have some of the full-size guitar thingies with 6 strings on them.
You brought a guitar to a ukulele fight? Come on.
I have a shaker.
Look at old 6-string over here.
Couldn't do it in 4?
Yeah, I know. God, you need 3 whole fingers to play a C chord, loser. Like the one ukulele player listening right now is going to be like, that was a good one, Ryan.
Yes.
That was
Zing!
That joke was for an audience of one. Ray Robinson's like, yeah, one finger C chord, absolutely. That was for you, Ray, waiting in the
I mean, keep in mind we do have Ray's mom in the chat.
Ukes indeed do rock, Ray's mom. That's a great comment right there.
Some justification.
Very stoked to have her on in the next segment. She's going to play for us, which is wonderful. Hi, Ray's mom. She's going to play for us, which is awesome. We're going to talk to her about how she's been moving her career forward during the pandemic, her new sponsorship with Lana Kai Ukuleles. That's a good ukulele company right there. They are a reputable ukulele outfit. And I love this new trend of instrument companies, Casio keyboards, Yamaha guitars, and in this case, Lana Kai ukuleles. Instead of just going for the top shelf, chart-topping artists, they realize they get a lot more bang for their buck partnering with indie artists because they're going to be grateful for the sponsorship opportunity. They're going to, do what you need them to do. They're going to be good brand ambassadors for you. And I'm loving this trend of indie artists getting some of these sponsorship opportunities with prominent brands.
Hard agree. And, just coming from the gaming industry, that seems to be a trend in working with, what are called micro influencers or whatever. But sort of not the super expensive folks that, you might pump a bunch of money into. You get, maybe 2 hours of a stream sponsorship and with questionable ROI. But you go for kind of lower level folks. They will tend to be more savvy on social media, tend to hustle more. And their communities tend to be a lot fiercer and more attached. So you get a lot more ROI as a company. So invest in your indie artists, companies. Do that.
One of the things I want to ask Ray on that front is, how does an indie creator who doesn't have necessarily the big following or all the industry connections gain the attention of a Lana Kai ukuleles to set up these sponsorships? Because I think that would be useful information for a lot of artists. And we're going to talk to her all about that after the break. But I want to tell you guys a little bit about something I've been doing over the past week. I had the pleasure of speaking at the launch party, the virtual launch party of our dear friend Ariel Hyatt's new book, The Ultimate Guide to Music Publicity. It is an awesome book. I got an advanced copy of it. I dove into it. I mean, it really is the ultimate guide. I mentioned this during the talk. I am so annoyed by music business books that just write a check they can't possibly cash in the title. I mean, how many books do you see where it's like everything you need to know and then some about the music, whatever, and the complete guide to blah blah blah. But this is the ultimate guide to the music publicity by Ariel Hyatt, and it really is. No stone on the publicity front left unturned. It is a really terrific book. And she had me speak on the subject of pitching because I wrote a little passage in the book about pitching, a little blurb, if you will. And I think, Elisa, given your background in music and gaming, JC, given your music background and your nonprofit background, You guys are no stranger to the art of the pitch. The email where you ask somebody either for a connection or you want something from them or you want to partner with them in some way. And the right pitch can go a long way. And one of the things that I got an opportunity to talk about during our talk on pitching was the importance of personalizing your message in the pitch. I know based on the industries you two work in, you probably get a fair share of pitches that are, let us say, carbon copies, where you can tell you are just one of 3,000 copies of the same pitch, and you can tell they didn't even read up on you a bit to personalize that pitch to you, and that must drive you crazy, and you probably never reach out to those people, right?
Yeah, in general, when you see someone that's sort of copy and pasted something, you're never going to get back to them because you said, well, you didn't take the time to personalize it for my organization trying to reach out to me. I know that you're just reaching out to everyone, and I can't set up a personal connection with you to sort of get the job done and making sure that you're working together. With me. I will say personally, I just scored a gig recently, and the first thing that they told me in the interview was, hey, one of the first reasons you're here is because you wrote an awesome cover letter. So there's just something about, yes, thank you. So there's just something about really personalizing it, making it to you, and let the person know that you are speaking genuinely, and you're genuinely interested in working with them. It's really important.
It really goes a long way.
Yeah, as when in my brief stint as an doing influencer management on the game dev side, we would get a bunch of creators on Twitch and YouTube just basically sending cold emails being like, I would like to review game. Very obvious. And then of course, me as a former teacher, if game is going to be in a different font and like a different size, it doesn't make me feel like you're actually interested in that. It makes me feel like you were just going to get our game code and sell it on the gray market. And that's not cute. And these things, literally game codes can sometimes cost money from the publishers. So like you're not only wasting somebody's time, but potentially a company's money, by kind of, making some sort of pitch like that. Instead, the pitches that I do remember are things that come with, this is the value that I would bring, but also, this, yeah, sure, numbers, follower numbers, etc. But making things easily accessible so that if I'm intrigued and want to learn more, I can actually go to your stream. So put all of your links in everything, please. But then also, and of course, don't do so much of this that it counts as spec work, right? Because, protect your own energy as a creator too, and protect your own IP. But I do remember pitches that are like, not only am I cool, but also because of your cool specific game, here's like a cosplay stream I could do based on this awesome piece of art that you have. Or I can build one of these things on stream, or I can play this section because I'm really good at lore and I know that your game is lore heavy, right? So like those little touches go a long way, and those could be the basis for relationships that last years, considering things like DLC and extra content. So take the little bit of extra effort to personalize your pitch and it can take you a long way.
Well, I'm glad that you brought that up. Go ahead.
Yeah, I do want to say that, like, you brought up the word remember. And one of the things is we do remember. So it's so important that when you are making that pitch, that we may not get back to you. I will say that you may not hear back from us for a while, but we do remember the good and the bad. And when something comes up, you are now sort of rolled into that idea. And if we remember the bad, it's not so good for you. So, first impressions are best impressions.
Great pieces of advice being talked about here. We're talking about show the pitchee the contours of a potential relationship and what you all could be doing together. Show that person that you've done your homework and you know what this organization is and know what value you can bring. And that stuff can go a long way. And as JC noted, be memorable so that pitch stays with them for a long time. And you're not memorable by giving the cut and pasting pitch. And I'll say this as somebody who is on the receiving end of pitches, because I get pitches from publicists to have people come on this podcast is I am shocked by how many professional, paid to do this publicists who don't follow these strategies. I mean, at least once a day, I get a pitch from a publicist that I can tell has not even read the show description of this podcast, because I will get the, hey, you know who you need to have on your show? My client. He is the CEO of this Fortune 500 aluminum siding company. And I'm like, oh, okay, so you saw the word business in the title of my show and thought, yeah, this is a guy who likes to interview the movers and shakers over at Morgan Stanley. And that's, I mean, and the fact that that publicist probably took some poor artist's money is already so frustrating to me. But here's, I think, the important point is that the world of pitching is such a wasteland. And there's so many bad pitches out there and so many people doing the cut and paste pitches that if you want to get into the top 5% of pitches, all that you have to do is just make a modicum of effort. Like, forget drafting the world's greatest pitch. If you can show the person in the pitch that you spent 5 minutes reviewing and learning about this person, I'm not saying you're going to get the pitch every time, but you're going to at least get you're much more likely to get a response. You're much more likely to get a conversion. And I almost want to call out some of these publicists who are just taking artists' money because they're just doing these cut and paste pitches and sending your pitch to audience who are in no position or inclination to want to receive that pitch. That to me is so frustrating.
Break the Business is about to be a drama channel.
Yeah. You're saying know who represents you.
Yes.
A major point. I know you've said this over and over again. You mentioned people throwing away money almost because whoever says that they're going to represent you the right way probably isn't. They're doing the copy paste. So take a look at what they're sending out first of all.
Yeah. Because the reputation of your publicist matter, by the way. Once I get burned by a publicist, once I get the, interview the aluminum siding king, I'm not taking another pitch from that publicist again. Like, I'm going to see that name and go, oh, nope, delete. And so, but that being said, if you have a publicist who's on their game, who, consistently brings guests, who gets the show and says, look, I know kind of what your show is about, Ryan. I think I got the perfect person for you. Indie alt pop ukulele artist who's, moving her career forward. Like, yes, bring. And so that publicist, whenever I see their name on the email, I smile. And sometimes even with these publicists, if you bring me a bunch of great guests that get the show and then you send me a clunker, I might still put the clunker on the show because I'm so grateful for that publicist and I want to maintain that relationship. So something to consider when you're deciding who is pitching your career on your behalf, but also these strategies. If you can't afford a publicist, these are things that you can do. I do take pitches from artists all the time without a publicist. And if you tell me your story and you show me that you get the show and you have something unique to bring to the show, like a diverse perspective or a piece of advice about the industry that I don't think we've talked about, you go to the front of the line. And that just takes a little bit of work, a little bit. I can't stress enough how little you have to do to get into the very top of the tire fire that is the pitches that we get for this program. Because it's absolutely wild. But you should check out more about this at Ariel Hyatt's new book, The Ultimate Guide to Music Publicity. It's out. It's got this advice. It's got so much more. It is a tremendous read. All right, before we go to break, one of the reasons why I brought Elisa here, as we intimated in the beginning, is she is our resident gaming expert. She is our industry insider.
Oh God!
And when we want to know about what's going on in the gaming industry, what should we know about as indie creators and the interplay between indie creation and the gaming industry, and all that good stuff, we talk to Elisa.
She's got the credentials.
Oh no! Well, I mean,
I want to phrase this as like an eloquent question with lots of like subparts and nuances, but I'm just going to say E3, go. What do we need to know?
Okay.
What happened?
Meta narrative, do we even need an E3? First off. And that's a whole different can of worms in the first place. E3, the Electronic Entertainment Expo. notoriously a place before consumers got their hands into it. It was just a boring old industry conference that was like, if you buy our game, you're gonna see 60% more sales at your Sears or whatever, and that's all it was for years.
It was like a real industry insider thing, like a
Fully,
frozen foods convention, basically.
I mean, basically, it's literally just like, like, I don't know, we'll pick a publisher, right? So like, I don't know, like a Nintendo. We'll talk to Walmart, and like, yeah, they have all the same cute little booths, but it's just like just business to business stuff. Then it, more spectacle, and everything, and now we had this consumer event over the last couple of years, and then ... and it went digital last year. This year, we're still not cute with in-person events. I'm looking in your direction, Pax. Some folks are dipping a toe in. That's cool. E3 remained digital, but the problem is that because it remained digital, I feel like everybody after this year is completely burnt out. And also, we don't have this big rudder that we used to have anymore, because due to the pandemic, everybody has been like, well, we'll all just take our shows online and showcase our games online, and felt self-empowered to do that. And meanwhile, this place that had been built as being the end-all be-all of gamer Christmas is like, we're still, I mean, you could show your games with us. So E3 was a little chaotic. It was a little chaotic this year, pero it kicked off with Jeff Keighley, who I think is now kind of becoming the new video game anchor in terms of being a place to show off your game. Head of the Game Awards, also started E3 season off with Summer Games Fest, and gave us things like Elden Ring news, which I kind of want to toss to JC, because I feel like, do you play any kind of like Soulsborne type games at all? You don't?
Oh no.
Does anybody? Elden Ring.
Anybody? I need some Elden Ring info here. I saw like the stuff about this. It looks really intriguing. It looks like they have some heavy hitters involved in this project. I mean, anybody, Elden Ring, help me out.
It's not necessarily my wheelhouse, but George R. R. Martin is involved, which makes me wonder if we will see a release date. So
we might see it, but it may never finish.
There it is.
So that kicked off. So many games got announced. We heard from folks like Ubisoft talking about Far Cry 6 still, that's coming out this week. Rocksmith Plus, which is, my own personal bias, got announced. And since this is technically also a music business podcast, a very interesting new entry in the music game situation, because now they're moving towards a subscription model for their service. So I feel like we're going to have a very special episode of the Break the Business podcast just about Rocksmith Plus alone.
I would love to see how that's going to work with the subscription service, and what it potentially means in terms of how big the library is going to get, and how much more that library could include a lot of indie artists and give more indie artists an opportunity to get featured into that game. When I saw that announcement, that put a smile on my face. And for a brand like Rocksmith, where the value of the game is a lot based on having new content to play, so you're not just playing the same songs over and over on your guitar, a subscription model makes perfect sense. That's really exciting.
Yeah, so very special episode on that coming soon for sure. But
Nice.
what I would venture to guess is I would say that maybe Xbox probably won sort of E3 in a sense. Because, I mean, other than Nintendo, because Nintendo just always crushes. But
they do what they do.
Like Xbox joined forces with Bethesda, who they recently acquired, to put on a big show, and it ended with me thinking that Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is the best deal in all of games forever.
Yes.
And ever. Because there's so much Game Pass stuff coming. Not just the first party titles like your Forza Horizon 5s, which looks gorgeous, and I never even paid attention to a Forza game before, but this one looks absolutely dope. Psychonauts 2. So basically, obviously, from all of the different studios that they acquired, all of those are coming to Game Pass. But things like Hades, people are going to get a chance to play Hades now, and that's going to be available on Game Pass. And a game like 12 minutes that I'm also very intrigued in, which is literally like a 12-minute time loop kind of game. So Game Pass has been a treat for me, at least, not even because of the sort of big AAA titles that you get, sometimes even day one with Game Pass, which is dope, but like a chance to be able to play and experience all of these smaller kind of indie titles. It's amazing. And that's dope. I also want to play Redfall really, really bad. That's kind of like a 4-player co-op vampire hunting thing.
I saw that one.
From
that one
Arcane
cool.
Austin, which looks super dope. And like for me, being a huge Borderlands fan and obviously a Borderlands nerd, it kind of gave me the same feeling of like, all right, I'm going to join up with 3 other people and take out some baddies. And it seemed like a game with a lot of humor and a lot of fun, and I like the art style. So I'm super looking forward to that. JC, can we talk about Breath of the Wild 2?
I mean, we can talk about it. Honestly, for this year's E3, just like you mentioned early, like there's not a whole lot pulling us in because there's not a lot of spectacle that happened this year. So even me as a gamer, not totally in the industry, I didn't pay too much attention to it other than for the things that I wanted to see. So I definitely secondhand checked out the Nintendo stuff, and Breath of the Wild 2 is looking good, but it's kind of a lot of stuff that we've already seen.
I got something to say to
Here,
Nintendo about this Breath of the Wild 2 announcement that they made, which was basically just a really big pomp and circumstance filled, we're working on it. All right, I want to make a universal E3 rule here, that an edict that I want going across the industry. If you don't have a date yet, you have nothing to announce. Okay?
Oh,
Not soon.
When my wife asks me when I'm going to take care of the dishes in the sink, and I don't have like a time of when I'm going to do it, I'm basically saying it's not getting done anytime soon. And that's really crappy of me to say to my spouse, just as it is crappy of Nintendo to say, like, we're working on it. Yeah, we know you're going to make a Breath of the Wild 2 sequel. It was a wildly successful game. It's going to come eventually. So if all you're announcing at E3 is it's going to come out eventually, that's not news. We knew that.
Oh, it's news for the shareholders, baby.
It is. But like it's double not news because we already knew that it existed and that they were already working on it. So like it's not news and it's also not news.
Well, I'm also extra bitter because among the Nintendo announcements were not a new Mario baseball game. And so I'm just lashing out at them now.
Yeah, we also didn't get any strikers, but we did get a new WarioWare.
We did.
Which I'm kind of excited about. And Metroid Dread looks kind of cool.
It looks really cool. I think Metroid Dread had the most post E3 pre-orders of any E3 game, if I read that right.
JC, I'm looking at your face. I'm also not a fan of the name.
I mean, it's controversial. I mean more for the fact that it is kind of like a rehash of the GBA Metroid. It's not really pushing it forward. It's fine. It's 2D. Some people love that. Some people don't.
Though it's fine.
Are you guys excited
you can't please
about
everyone.
all of the Mario parties Parties Past being consolidated into one game and released? And in theory, at least what they say, will be available for online play.
So they say.
So they say.
We've been burned before, Nintendo.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm like, I'm not
ready to open my heart.
I'm not going to get excited yet.
But
I don't know. One of the cool things about E3, especially as somebody who subscribes to Game Pass specifically, it's like somebody described it on Twitter, and I wish I remember who it was so I could credit them. But they were like, it's cool because I feel like I get to plot out what my entertainment is just gonna look like for the next like year and a half, and like can just schedule out. I can take my days off. Like I could just schedule out like my entertainment and know how long I have to wait for stuff, and knowing that I don't know, I feel like I get a lot of value for my sub. Boy, I hope that's being paid forward to the developers personally. but I for one, as the consumer, I'm loving it.
Well, I love what Game Pass offers in the sense that I'm more willing to try out a game now and to at least start it. Like because before, like I had to really be in love with the game so much that I'm willing to do that, jump over that $68 hurdle to get it. And if I'm just not sure about a game, I'm not going to get it. But if it's part of a Game Pass subscription, I can try it out. I can see if I like it. And if it doesn't work out, I can move on to something else. It makes a lot more sense for the consumer. And I love the new trend that you were talking about, Elisa, of more AAA titles, more current stuff being put on Game Pass. Game Pass isn't just the 5-year-old games that have already gone through their product cycle. It's the stuff like MLB The Show 21, initial release on Game Pass. That's pretty wild for a major studio's sports game release. That doesn't happen, but now it does.
Yeah. Oh, and also Battlefield looks cool.
Battlefield. Oh, when does Battlefield not look cool?
Battlefield looks cool, and the reason that I like Battlefield specifically is because I feel like I can get chaotic and get credit for being chaotic in a way that I could not in any other shooter of its kind. It's great.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
Where's Mario Baseball? That's all I'm saying. I mean,
we're strikers also,
strikers.
Like specifically.
Strikers. Oh my God.
You got a golf.
We did get a golf.
We did get Mario Golf.
Golf.
That's fair. I mean, but we've done this on the show before. My hierarchy of Mario sports games goes baseball, strikers, golf, tennis. And so look, happy to have golf. But I mean, Elisa, we played Super Mario Strikers 30 minutes before your wedding. Like, we were all in a room playing Strikers together on the happiest day of your life. Like, why would we not love Strikers?
It's great. All you gotta do is just slide tackle people.
That's what it's all about.
That's what I do. It's great. It's great. I love it.
It's called Smash Brothers.
Oh, Smash Brothers. That's, yeah. Well, I mean, it's in a class by itself, the Smash Brothers. Gotta love it. All right. Ray Robinson coming up next. Do not go anywhere. Keep it right here on Break the Business. The next half of the show is going to be awesome. Ryan Kairalla here. I hope you're enjoying the show, and I hope that you're getting a lot out of it. I do what I do because I care about creators like you. A lot. I've dedicated my career to helping creative professionals, entrepreneurs, and organizations move forward. I do it by hosting this program, and I'm also proud to do it in my legal practice. If you're a creative professional looking for solutions-oriented legal services to help you further your goals, I'd love to help. My firm RKPA does contracts, commercial law, copyright, trademark, and more. Visit rkpalaw.com to learn more. That's rkpalaw.com. Ryan A. Kairalla, PA, Miami, Florida.
Streaming services for Break the Business provided by LEK Entertainment. LEK Entertainment is a full-service entertainment company offering everything from consultations to full-scale events and productions, including audio and video productions, voiceovers, staged theatrical productions, script and music development, and streaming services. For more information, visit lekentertainment.com. LEK Entertainment wants to help you bring your story to life.
Thanks for supporting Break the Business. If you have a question or topic that you want us to discuss, email us at breakthebusiness@gmail.com. You can follow the host, that's me, on Twitter at Ryan Kair, and you can follow the show at the BTB Podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the show on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, and on all major podcast platforms. And now, let's get back to the show. Welcome back, everybody, to Break the Business on Twitch, YouTube Live, Facebook Live, all podcasting platforms, and Sirius XM Channel 145. Ryan Kairalla here, joined with JC, Elisa, and the world's tiniest ukulele. I love this thing. It's so cute. It is. It's pretty much unplayable, but
there it is.
Oh my God. My fingers cramp just even trying to start, but it's so, so cute. And the reason why, of course, we're bringing out the ukuleles is it's a celebration of our guest coming up right now. She is a Hollywood-based indie art alt pop singer-songwriter who is sponsored by Lanakai Ukuleles and has been recently featured in Ones to Watch and Ear Milk. You can find out more about her and her soon-to-be released debut EP, Crushes and Love Songs, by visiting Instagram.com/ItchJustRay. We're happy to welcome Ray Robinson on to Break the Business. Hi, Ray.
Hello. Thank you for the lovely welcome. How are you guys doing today?
We are doing so, so well.
Great.
Happy to be chatting with you.
Happy to be here.
So what do you think of the world's tiniest ukulele?
I love it. I'm loving
still playable?
It is still playable.
Now we're gonna ask you about your music career, but
Yeah.
before we do, all right, I want you to say, do you like the world's tiniest ukulele more or less than
Oh no.
Oh, uh-oh. Making me choose between ukuleles
the
here.
Doctor Who themed?
Oh my God, Doctor
ukulele
Who. I am
with an
such a
exploding
Doctor Who
TARDIS
nerd.
on the back.
That is so cool. I love that you have that. I am a giant Doctor Who fan.
What?
So yeah, that's
No kidding.
I am.
All
Yeah,
right,
I went to
Ryan
I
has
actually went
found
to a
his people.
Apologies to your publicist, because we're not going to talk about your career. It's just going to be a bunch of Doctor Who questions from here on out. You know,
That's okay, I'm
Capaldi
okay with
Smith, who do you got? No, I'm just-
Oh man, I kind of love Capaldi. I was a big Matt Smith girl for a long time, but also I feel like David Tennant maybe played it the best out of the new Doctors of my opinion. But I was
Kinda
just
like
in love
Jodie
with Matt
Whittaker.
Smith. I
She's
think.
kind of cool too. She's got
Yeah.
a little bit of those Matt Smith vibes. Look at all the Whovians
Yeah.
in the chat are all excited now that you're
Oh, I
a
love
Doctor
it.
Who fan.
Woohoo,
Like-
getting a new fan base here.
I mean, guys, Evan, Elisa, indie alt pop singer songwriter, ukulele player, Doctor Who fan. I mean, does her publicist know the show to put her on, or what?
Yeah, truly. Well, she knows how to pick them. Lydia is the best. She's so cool. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be here. You guys are so funny. I've been having such a great time watching you and listening, and I'm excited to be here. Oh, and I have some guest stars for us.
Oh,
So I thought we might do
it's a
little
cat.
bit of
It's a cat. We have a cat. Oh my
a little
God.
bit of kitten. Well, I was trying to do ASMR, but she's feeling a little bit playful, so I don't think we're going to get any purring out of her yet. Maybe later. But
Oh my God.
my mom's bringing me another one.
Oh, that one's even smaller. How am I supposed to do live radio under these conditions?
See, this
I
is
know.
An audience.
this is
how you
what
get an
the
audience.
folks are missing by
Yeah, I
by
thought-
not checking out
I
the
thought I
show
would-
on Twitch.
Oh,
Truly, I thought I'd come pander with kittens. So
and the chat's just going, kitty, cat. Oh my God. My heart is melting. How am I supposed to carry on a serious interview about your career with a melted heart?
oh, we're getting a little.
Oh my God. Okay.
All right.
All right. I'm gonna do my best to compose
No,
myself
yeah,
here.
they've decided that they're done with me, so they're gonna go play. So,
Look, if they crawl, into the shot at any given
won't
time,
stop
that's
them.
perfectly okay. All right. As long as we understand the ground rules, they are allowed to disrupt this interview at any time. Promise we won't be mad.
I'll let them know.
All right, let's talk about ukuleles here.
All right, let's.
In the first segment, we were talking a lot about your partnership with Lanakai Ukuleles and this sort of emerging trend we're seeing of major instrument brands partnering with indie creators, partnering with, as Elisa dubbed, the micro influencers, the folks like you who are doing great things in your career, don't have like the gigantic fan base, but have a good quality fan base that are big fans of what you do. And so these companies can get a lot of bang for their buck and get a lot of ROI out of getting someone like you to work with them and sponsor them, somebody who loves that particular brand of ukuleles. Can you tell the viewers and listeners a little bit about that relationship with Lanakai and how it got started?
Yeah. First of all, I love Lanakai. I've been with them for a little over 2 years, I think now, and they are such a cool company. That's something I love about like the brand and small artist like connection. I think we really get to develop our relationship, and we really get to kind of know each other. It feels like the Lanakai family versus just like being on some big company who doesn't know your name, and so it's really fun. It actually, I've been playing Lanakai. My first ukulele. I actually have my first ukulele here with me. She is a Lanakai. This is Mama, and I've been playing Lanakai for like 11 or 12 years now, and never did I think that I would be sponsored by them. But it's kind of a funny story. I was reaching out to them because they're my favorite ukulele company. So I was reaching out to see if I could get a sponsorship, and they didn't have any artists yet. They didn't have any, and so I was like, oh, that's a bummer, well, whatever. Like a month or two later, they reached out to me and they were like, hey, we're just starting to get artists, and we found you under the ukulele hashtag, ukulele girl hashtag or something like that. And so they reached out to me, and it was like such an awesome like situation. So I was really lucky, but so many artists, especially, or so many brands, especially like kind of smaller brands, like are so happy to have artists reaching out to them and stuff. I think it doesn't happen as much as people think it does. So I think it's as easy as finding some contact information and saying, hey, I'm really passionate about the company, I would love to be on it. And I think generally a lot of the times that's enough. Just like you guys were talking about personalized pitching earlier. I think if you really show them that you're a fan, I think it does a lot.
It's coming full circle. Oh my God, look at that cat. Oh, that one's going to be the star. That one looked right into the camera.
I think she is. This is Bug.
Hi there.
Bug.
She's very sweet.
I forgot my question now. Thanks.
I'm so sorry.
No, I'm just kidding. This is like it's awesome, and what advice do you have to indie creators out there who perhaps have a treasured brand of musical instrument and think that there could be a potential partnership in there for them? What's the first move that they make? Is it making a personalized pitch like we talked about in the first segment?
Yeah, I think absolutely. I think that is, or finding people in the company who might be in charge of that. But I really do think that that making a personalized pitch around the company, especially if it's a company you really care about, that if you make that clear, they really, I think that they would appreciate the passion. And if you're going to be representing the company, I think that, they can see how passionate you are and how well that you're going to represent that for them. They want to work with people who love it as much as they do. So, yeah.
I can dig that, Ray. A theme that we've had amongst a lot of artists that we've had on the program recently, Ray, is this idea of how indie creators are finding ways to move their careers forward during the pandemic, making the right pivots, making the right changes to their standard operating procedure to make the most of this brave new world that we're in. And so I'm intrigued to hear that from your perspective. How have you kept your career moving forward during the pandemic? What changes have you had to make?
Yeah. The pandemic was honestly, for me, a little bit of a blessing in disguise, because I'm
hearing that so often from artists.
Yeah. I think it really gives especially artists like creatives, a chance to, I think artists are always pushing, promoting, playing shows, doing all this stuff. And being in lockdown at least gave me an opportunity to stop doing all that and focus on my writing and on creating. And so I've spent the last year and a half just writing and creating, developing my sound and figuring out a game plan for how I want to move forward. And it's given me a chance to like build a really strong foundation for myself as an artist to then move forward and keep writing while I'm promoting and stuff. Like, it kind of just gave me a little bit of a head start almost, which, so I've gotten a lot out of it. So,
Well,
silver
Elisa,
lining.
JC, it does sort of track with what I've heard from a lot of creators who have used some version of the blessing in disguise narrative about what the pandemic has done for their career. I've seen artists take two tracks. Either one, in Ray's case, they have more time to invest in creating and being creative and making more art and expanding their horizons as an artist, and that's great. Or there are artists out there who are using it as an opportunity to learn more about the business side of the ledger, learn about new marketing strategies, new promotion, distribution strategies that they wouldn't have had the time or inclination to explore but for the pandemic. But it's great to see that you've taken that first road on things, and it's leading to a lot of great creative output. And I would love it very much if we could see but a sample of this creative output. I
Oh
understand
my
that you
gosh.
have a follow up to your first single that you're just starting to play places, and
Yes.
we'd love to hear some ukulele if you don't
Yeah,
mind.
of course. Yes, of course. Yeah, I just put out my song Daisies, and I'm working on putting out my next one, and the next is called Rainy Day Daydream. And it is a ukulele song if there's ever a ukulele song.
Oh,
So
I'm so
absolutely.
excited.
Do you want me to just go right ahead, right into it?
Yeah, let's do this. This is Rainy Day
All right.
Daydream by Ray Robinson here on Break the Business.
It's raining outside. You're stuck in my head. And you don't know how much I wish you were laying next to me in bed. I hate waiting around, and I'm counting down the days until I get to see you again. But until then, you'll be my rainy day daydream. Rainy day daydream. I go crazy thinking about how you taste that. I'm stuck in your page just to see your face. Rainy day daydream. Now it's raining outside and we're watching TV, and I'm all too focused on the way your leg just brushed against my knee. You give me butterflies I haven't felt since high school, and I'm wondering if you feel the same. Do you get nervous when I say your name? Am I your rainy day daydream? Rainy day daydream. Do you crazy thinking about how I taste? Just stuck in my page just to see my face. Rainy day daydream. I'm always afraid that I'll say the wrong thing and you run away, and I'll lose the chance to show you what it's like. I know that I can't, but I want you so bad. And if you give me a chance, I can show you what it's like to be my rainy day daydream. Whoa, rainy day daydream. I go crazy thinking about how you taste. I don't wanna stalk your page to see your face. Rainy day daydream. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. So that's Rainy Day Daydream, and that'll be the next single I put out. Oh, I love the claps.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Oh my goodness. That was delightful. The
Thank you.
chat is rightfully pleased with that.
Aw.
So great. Look, we just had a whole bit in E3 before the commercial break about how frustrating it can be when we don't know when something's going to come out. Do we have a target date for this EP? When do we get to enjoy this?
For the EP, it'll be out this year. We don't have a date yet.
Before Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. Yes. No. Watch them release it next week. No. This song will be out within. Oh man, it'll be out very soon. It'll be out in the next couple months, less than that. And the EP is going to be out this year. Don't have a date for it yet, but yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited about it.
All right, Ray.
Yes.
Let us know. Oh my God, stop with the cats!
No,
I can't focus.
Don't stop.
Look at you.
Don't
Look
stop
at
with
that
the
one.
I'm sorry.
That is a
My mom is the
beautiful
cat
recording.
giver. My mom is the cat giver. It's like the claw that comes down and just drops the.
Oh, hello.
The cat's just looking right at us.
Next week, tune in for Break the Cat Business.
Oh my gosh. What a sweet. What I was saying
Yes.
before
Please
I was
continue.
so pleasantly interrupted was let us know whenever the EP comes out, let us know. We want to celebrate it. We want to enjoy it. We want to tell our folks about it because I'm sure you got a bunch of people listening and watching this who want to hear more from you. And you can do that by visiting Instagram.com/itsjustray, and that's Ray, R-A-Y-E. Check her out. Great things coming her way. Ray, before we let you go,
Yes.
one last question that we ask all the guests that come on this program.
Of course.
Do you have any last tips for the indie creators out there to help them move their careers forward?
I think the best thing I could say is be yourself, be genuine. People want authenticity. It's really easy to get caught up in everybody's life is perfect and everybody looks perfect on Instagram. So I have to be perfect if I want to compete. But it's not about that. People really want to see your personality and you, how the way that you are. And I think that is maybe the biggest thing. And also get on TikTok because it's one of the best ways for small artists to get attention and blow up because it shows your content to anybody. It's not just your followers. So those are probably my tips.
The discovery algorithm on TikTok is pretty dang terrific.
It really
And
is cool.
I'm with you on that. And so, I mean, Ray, you got to follow Elisa on TikTok. She is she is a party to follow.
I will be doing that.
Just
I haven't
millennial
created
goodness.
in way too long. Don't put me on
Oh my
blast.
gosh, I feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all feel that. Sometimes it can be hard to create, but
Well,
we do it
Ray,
anyways.
Ray, thank you so much. Please don't be a stranger. We'd love to have you on again real soon.
Thank you so much. I would love that too. You guys are so awesome. I've loved talking with you guys. Thank you for having me on. This was so fun.
You got it. And thanks to your mom for bringing those cats here.
Yes.
They're always welcome too, by the way. Standing invitation for your cats. Oh,
We'll keep
all
that in
right.
mind.
Ray Robinson, everybody. Just so stoked to have chatted with her. I'm in a good mood now between the cats, the ukulele, the fact that she's a Doctor Who fan. Just, oh man.
Wow.
Just so happy. Oh my God. Okay. We got a few minutes left, and I want to occupy that time with you, Elisa and JC, to share with you a tweet that I've seen this past week, and I believe it's a tweet that you all have seen as well, because it is just everywhere. Lauren, can you pull up this tweet that has just been making the proverbial rounds on Twitter?
I'm already tired.
All right,
What
so
am I-
we should describe this for the audio listeners here. This is a tweet of one of these families that's Instagram beautiful and is trying to make you feel bad about your life. So it's a mom with her 3 kids and they're hiking in the woods, and she's holding up a sign that says, "Into the woods we go, because kids won't remember their best day of television." And then the person who tweeted out this photo used the caption on the tweet, "Feel like this is 100% untrue." Now, Elisa, JC, like me, your lives have been pretty much formed by television of the 90s. And so I would imagine that your best day of television is going to beat out A Day to the Woods any day. I know it would be for me.
As somebody who's had dengue fever, like
What?
I ain't trying to go into the woods. Period.
Oh, you're not going into the thick of it.
Oh,
Wow. TikTok reference there. Ray Robinson liked that. I see her laughing in the chat. Backyardigans have entered the chat.
They have.
ugh, indeed. Ugh, indeed. I say to that.
Oh my God. That's
The best day of
I
television.
feel like for Elisa, her worst day of television is better than her best day in the woods.
accurate. I almost overheated playing paintball in the woods in North Carolina. Like, I do not have a good relationship with the woods.
I mean, but like just the best days of television of my childhood just kicked the crap out of the woods any day. Like I was 5 years old when the Borg kidnapped Jean-Luc Picard and turned him into a Borg. And this wasn't like today in Netflix where, you can find out in the very next episode, just by clicking yes to find out whether he's going to stay a Borg or get unborged. This was like back in the old days where it was the cliffhanger to the end of a season, and you had to wait the whole off season to find out what happened to Picard. That was traumatic for 5-year-old Ryan. That was a good day of television.
The finale
Walk 5
of
miles uphill.
the finale of Mariela del Barrio. The finale of a telenovela in my neighborhood. I mean, you want to talk about appointment television. Like, it was like you heard nothing in the streets at like 3 p.m. when that episode dropped. Because it's like, this woman, she had amnesia and she didn't know that she was working as a maid in the house, but her son is there that she doesn't remember. It's like, oh my God, it's a whole thing. It was a whole thing.
Just like that, I've got one that I know is a shared one for all of us.
Bring it.
Who
Bring it.
shot Mr. Burns?
Oh!
The months of
That
waiting.
was an event. I remember
the forensics I went through.
It was like, there was a chart with like string.
red string, absolutely.
Yeah.
To figure out who shot Mr. Burns. I remember they had a whole special on Fox the night before the second part of the Who Shot Mr. Burns special, where they got like all these celebrities to give their theories, and they had like a betting board with the odds of all the people in Springfield and what their probabilities were shooting Mr. Burns. Of course, Maggie, who shot Mr. Burns, spoiler alert, was like 500 to 1.
What?
Oh, shut up. Don't make me feel bad. All right, first of all, the kids that are
20
watching
years.
Simpsons today don't even know what we're talking about because, like, season 11 and earlier of Simpsons and season 12 and thereafter of Simpsons are completely different shows, and the people who watched either one don't know anything about the other parts of the show. So, like,
Yeah, like, honestly,
fans
that
of today's
came out
Simpsons
when
don't know what we're talking about with Who Shot Mr. Burns.
This happened when I was 10. There have been 2 entire me at 10s since that happened. This is a long time ago. Yeah.
How about
yeah, sorry.
how about this one? Try this one on for size. I think this would have been 7, 8 years old. Jesse Spano. I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
excited.
I'm
I'm
so
so
scared.
Scared.
Oh, you mean our trivia group name?
Yes.
Yes, the permanent name of any trivia team we ever do together at any pub. Absolutely. So I actually read something about that particular episode. I don't know if you guys know about this, okay? The original script to the Jesse Spano Hot Sunday, I'm so excited, I'm so excited, I'm so scared episode, she was originally supposed to get addicted to methamphetamines.
Like straight up
like
mess.
speed. Like she was like and the producers, like the network standards and practices said, no. This is a Saturday morning show, y'all. And
There's no hope with dope.
yeah. And they were going to cut the episode until the producers, like Peter Engel, saved it by saying, okay, how about caffeine pills? And apparently the producers were pissed off about making it caffeine pills, because they're like, a caffeine pill has as much caffeine as a cup of coffee. Like, Jesse Spano is not going to get like deliriously, angry, I'm so excited, I'm so scared over a caffeine pill. And so like
snaps for Elizabeth Berkley. She made us believe it.
She did make us believe. And I went my whole childhood thinking that like caffeine pills were this incredibly destructive substance, like worse than cocaine, because of that episode of Saved by the Bell. All I'm trying to say, pretty damn memorable, more memorable than any trip to the woods I ever went through.
Absolutely.
Like, I mean,
and they're still on television playing those characters. So what are we even doing?
That's right. God, Peacock is just dusting everything off, aren't they? Shameless, those guys. Man.
Well, it was that rememberable.
Rememberable.
And on that note, our thanks to Ray Robinson. Thanks to Elisa, JC, just coming down memory lane with me. We're all having a good time with the ukuleles and the cats. What a fun show. Thank you all for supporting the program. Be sure to follow us on Twitch and YouTube Live, Twitter at the BTB Podcast. Follow Elisa at Elisa Rock Doc. Follow JC at J Sizzle. And be sure, as always, to check us out if you got the SiriusXM satellite radio at SiriusXM channel 145 Slam Radio. They got some great stuff on that station. We are but a small player in a wonderful space there, and you should check out all their fantastic programming. Thank you all very, very much for hanging out with us. Evan, Elisa, thank you all for being here.
Or JC.
Or JC.
Oh, gosh, sorry. I see Elisa, I go, Elisa, JC. Well, so now your rememberable isn't the worst thing that we closed the show with, so you got that going.
That's true.
Elisa,
Right,
JC, thank you so much for being here. We'll see you all on Break the Business next week.